Hello and welcome to Sport This Morning. I'm Cecilia Omogbe.
It's great to have you join us again. I'm Tayo Salah.
Always a delight to have you join us to talk sports. I'm Austin Okonakman.
Okay, let's get started with the show. Now, of course, we're talking about Nigeria Professional Football League. Austin?
Okay. Match day 15 of the Nigeria Professional Football League gets our attention today on the show. 19 goals scored. So much happened. Rivers United went away to beat Warri Wolves. We'll tell you the story of match day 15 of the Nigeria Professional Football League.
Definitely, and somewhere where this one is definitely getting tougher. Barcelona, they're just one win away from clinching the La Liga title. They just have to win their last game against Granada, because anything short of that, and of course Real Madrid, should they win their game against Deportivo La Coruña, well, they will be crowned champions.
Austin, Cecilia, it sounds very easy. Just win your game and you'll be champions. But we have a very good example in Ajax and PSV. And all Ajax had to do was win their game. They didn't do it. PSV are champions. Okay, from football we go to tennis now. Going into the Madrid Masters, Novak Djokovic was tied with Rafael Nadal with 28 Masters 1000 title. But after Sunday's decider, the world #1 is now the sole owner of the record, after beating Andy Murray in straight 3 sets. Actually, I was going to say straight sets, but it was a lot tougher than that. You know, 1 set apiece, then went to the decider, and Djokovic showed he is the master. He owns the record to himself now.
Wow.
Yeah, definitely. I was looking at Rafael Nadal on Saturday. Exactly. I was like, okay, how is he going to do this? But somehow, you know, when you have Andy Murray at his very best, sometimes, you know, he gets to do it. But on a very big day, at a big stage, I think maybe Djokovic just have his drug or whatever. I mean, he's got
the Indian sign over.
Exactly. There's just something about Djokovic and, you know, Andy Murray. And whenever he's facing him, it just have this, kind of a blackout or something. When he won the second set, I felt, okay, this is the Andy Murray, you know, he is coming back up strong and all that. He's going to upset Novak Djokovic, but he just couldn't do that. He's the defending champion, and he knew what was at stake. You know, if he didn't get to defend his title in Madrid, he would definitely lose the #2 spot, and that's actually what happened. Tied on Federer with points number, he couldn't defend the title, and now he has dropped to world #3.
Double defeat, that means, for Andy Murray. I think Andy Murray needs to work on his stats whenever he's into a match. I thought he was slow in starting that one, and then, you know, Novak Djokovic, if you're slow with him, Djokovic starts relaxing to see if you bring in your A game so he can respond. He's very good with responses, and that's what he actually did against Nadal, against Murray in the third game. This just tells us that beat Djokovic and you get your tennis career back on track. Just beat Djokovic and you're fine.
Yeah, Austin, I was expecting, I thought it was going to be Rafael Nadal and Djokovic final. That would have been very fitting, because those two guys, because those two guys, like I said at the start of the show, were tied 28, you know, for the ATP Masters 1000 title. So it would have been fitting for them to actually go head to head to see who goes on to own the record outright. But it wasn't meant to be, and in the final, Djokovic showed he's still the man. You know, after going into Rome now, surely, I'm sure his confidence level is very high, and in Roland Garros as well, to where he will be bidding to win his first Grand Slam title in Paris. So, but in terms of the ATP Masters 1000 title, he's the all-time leader now, 28.
That's right.
29.
29. Yeah.
Rafael Nadal on 28.
Rafael Nadal still stuck on 28.
And of course, Roger Federer on 24.
Yes, 24 for Roger Federer. And we have the great, you know, Andre Agassi. Yeah, obviously they're not going to win anymore because they're retired now. They're on 17. That's for Andre Agassi. And Andy Murray, 11. I don't know how long Andy Murray still has to play, still has to offer in tennis, but at 11, you don't see, perhaps he can still win a couple more, you know, probably get to like 15 or who knows, 16. But it's going to be very tough when you have the likes of Nadal and Djokovic,
let's say maybe
on top form.
A year where you have Nadal injured, Djokovic injured, and of course he's just the top one. Then he can actually maybe win 4 in a particular year. 4 the next. Come on, he's not going to get there.
It's not as easy as that. And Pete Sampras as well too. Yeah, the great Pete Sampras is 11. That's just the breakdown of how Novak Djokovic has been able to do it on the ATP Tour. 6 in Miami, Obviously, that's his favorite surface. Indian Wells 5, Paris and Rome 4, Shanghai and Montreal. He's won it 3 times there. Madrid 2, Monte Carlo 2.
And remember Madrid 2011, that was the first time he won and that was the last time, and this is 2016. It shows that Djokovic keeps getting better every time.
Undisputed, I mean, number 1.
He's an alien.
At the time he raised his hands to the heavens, all he needed was a crown. Just put it on Djokovic, and that's all. That's the king of men's tennis right now, undisputed champion. No one comes close. But for the ladies, Cecilia, it's neither here nor there.
I mean, when you don't have a Maria Sharapova, Serena Williams, it's like the glamour is not there. But come on, you can still watch the likes of Simona Halep of Romania. She was able to win the Madrid Women's Open on Saturday. She had to just dominate Dominika Sibukova 6-2, 6-4. It was a complete dominance. She didn't even drop a set all through the tournament, and when she got to the final, she just had to stamp the authority saying that, look, I'm definitely the best in this particular tournament. And she won the first game and 4-1, the second one again starting 4-1, and before you know it, well, she was just there. And the good thing is she's definitely going to rise up in the ranking to number 5 when later in the day we'll definitely get to see the ranking.
The ranking, she's actually number 5
She was
now.
just accurate in the baseline, just playing her game very well, and at the end of the day she just went ahead and she just no hassle at all. She just won it.
Simona Halep is now world number 5 now. The rankings have been released this morning. And Austin, there's something about this girl because I mean, you just look at her. I never judge a book by its cover. She's very petite. She's about 5'5". That's what she looks to me. But she hits the ball so hard. And she's very aggressive from the baseline as well. So she's one to watch out for. Although you have to say, when it comes to the real big games, you know, the Grand Slam, the majors. She just has a way of fizzling out, and that's one thing she has to work on. Probably it's a big game temperament that is missing from Simona Halep right now. Just the first title of 2016.
That's right. And for me, when you are winning like this, sustain the momentum at the French Open. Let's see a competitive Simona. Let's not see one who will come and get fizzled out because of the crowd and all. Simona Halep, we keep talking about her whenever we talk about the ATPs. You know, there was a time it was the same story for Andy Murray, but he has stepped up now. He's winning the Grand Slam. So I think that's what Simona Halep needs to do also. When you talk about Halep, you look at Victoria Azarenka, even Sabine Lisicki. You know, all of these ladies can come up and give Serena Williams, Maria Sharapova, some big push when talking about women's tennis.
Yeah, definitely. But I think it's always difficult when you have Serena still very much at her best. Victoria Azarenka, of course, she's already doing it and all that. We have Sevlina Kuznetsova, used to be one of the ladies to beat, but age is actually catching up with her. So, I mean, with Maria Sharapova out for, we don't know how long she's going to be out. But you're definitely having other younger ladies, you talked about Sabine Lisicki and all that, all of them coming up to see how they can actually take that #1 spot from Serena Williams. I'm looking at the player, she's not even playing, but the kind of point she has amassed, I mean, even if she doesn't play this year, I think she will still be at a very bad. She'll still be at the very top.
Yeah, well, hey, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. But one thing it looks like the WTA tour will be very unpredictable this season from the tournaments we've seen so far. So right from the start, of the season when the German lady Angelique Kerber, won in Australia. It looks like it might be one of the seasons where any lady on that day, can actually go on and win titles.
I think that's how it's going to be. That's the way it is. Okay, from tennis, I'll move straight to, what happened on Saturday at the Okpekpe Road Race. Austin, you were definitely there, and so much more happened.
A lot happened. I tell you, we can't capture everything on TV unless you're there. I think it's about time we start looking at ways we can bring more international competitions to Nigeria. Nothing gives you respect like when you bring in foreigners and they say, well done to what you've done. This is the 4th edition of the Okpekpe International Road Race. And now, even the local community, they're loving it. They see it as their pride. They want to protect it. They're so hospitable, they're friendly. Even when they're not running, they're encouraging athletes. It's so, from the start till the finish, you see someone from Okpekpe saying, well done, cheering you and all that. They love it. They love to see that they see that crowd come to their community.
So like you're saying the turnout,
Okay,
about the
Yeah,
turnout.
lovely. And when we have over 17 athletes, you know, competing, even the VIPs, their race was also interesting to watch. Now it goes beyond the competition. Tayo, Cecilia, imagine this race when it's in its 10th edition. It's bronze now, and we're talking about like this is the 4th edition. Imagine in the 10th edition. That's what the organizers need to. They need to look forward and say, for logistic, if we're not getting it better, let's start working towards that now. I like the presence of security security man that I saw there. Medical response was on point, was top notch at every point. If someone is falling, before you know, the ambulance is right there, pick up the person. There was the scattered water everywhere as you run. You could just stop by, pick water out, get some to give you water. That's very good. And I also like the fact that they were time conscious.
Okay.
They were so time conscious on the technicalities. I remember we also talked about the introduction of the doping. I saw Dr. Amao Akiumi and his team on ground. They take your samples. The next day was leaving for Sweden to be checked. And also, you see, they're doing things that should make it silver and hopefully get to the gold level.
Okay, let's just see this report now. We're going to enjoy this, and when we come back, we'll talk more on this race.